Welcome to Funattic Hobbies. Today what we're going to be doing is painting this amazing Horus Heresy Space Marine with a scanner on its hand, on green colors apparently. I'm going to be honest here guys, I just wanted to test new techniques, so I'm mostly using a sponge for all the armor, and then also using the brush for reaching those hard places. I'm using Tenebrous Grey from AK Interactive to paint all the armor's joints, the holster, the weapon, and that chest belt that it has apparently. Here I'm using dark green, a washed down dark green, with stippling, just to taint the armor a little bit on those places where it's not supposed to be as bright. And don't forget the crotch. Now I'm using a Scorpina green, pure by itself for all the highlights, the armor highlights. If you don't know where to put them, just look the miniature from above, and all the surfaces that you see that are pointing upwards, just paint it with that. I just wanted to try something new. I'm using this to highlight the shin, see how it looks. I like that scratchy surface, so I left it like that. Now to highlight all the Tenebrous Grey, I'm using a little bit of cold white on a ratio of 1 part of cold white, 2 parts of Tenebrous Grey, and doing all the edge highlight with that color. Later, I'm going to be adding a little bit more of cold white to the mix and highlight the highlights. Now for all the metallic parts, I'm going to be adding a base of dark aluminum. This is from Metal Color, Vallejo brand. This inner barrel is a little bit tricky, you just have to have a little bit of good pulse, but if you messed it, don't worry, you just add a little bit more of Tenebrous Grey to cover it and that's it. Now for this movement detector-y thing that it has on its hand, I am using pure cold white just to draw something. I took some inspiration from the Alien movie, you know, the movement detector, so I am trying to replicate that wave that is projected on all directions, and I'm going to be adding a dot just to identify that it detected something, and there is some movement ahead, something to be ready and on alert. Now for the OSL, what you need to do is think where would the light hit and paint it white. Later you're going to be tinting that white with whatever the light's color is, so don't worry, for now just use white. Notice that I am adding first like a washed down white, and then I highlight the surface with a more purer cold white, not as diluted. Now if you don't have the inks, don't worry, you can totally use a watered down color, but I bought them last week and I really wanted to try them, so I'm using them here, but this is not a mandatory step. Now here what I'm doing on the beak is stippling, and I am using the brightest color, then going down on different tones, just to integrate better the colors with the OSL effect. So far it's looking good. Now for weathering and battle damage effects, I'm here using Ghost Green, which is a brighter color than the armor's colors. And why am I using this? This is because of a theory that I have. That is that when they paint the armors, they do use primer before painting the metal itself, just like we do with cars. And usually the primer is brighter, if not whitish or grayish, so here I'm imagining that it goes green color. Later, and on the cases where all the paint has been removed, I'm going to use again the dark aluminum color just to represent that we are seeing the metallic armor itself with no paint. And where do we add these effects? Everywhere where it might get scratched, you know? The knees, the elbows, the feet. The crotch, apparently. And here is where I'm adding the dark aluminum color, just to represent that there is no more paint to be stripped and we're looking at the bare metal. Use a burnt sienna ink or any other similar color, but really watered down, to represent that this is not brand new and it has seen some action. Use cold white to whatever light you want to pop. So the trick is, first you use a little bit of white, then you add the cold color, or just, let's say, the lighting effect, but not the light itself. Then add a little bit more white. Then use another color, a brighter one. Here we are using an orangey one, where previously it was a reddish ink. And the reddish one, the darker one that you used before, is going to create the OSL effect. And to highlight the metal itself, just use white aluminum from Vallejo again. I highly recommend this combination of dark aluminum and white aluminum to paint metal and to highlight that metal. As you can see, it looks great. I'm cheering for you. Hope you make a great job with that mini. Have a wonderful day and see you next time. Bye.